This basira has several conditions. And so we briefly go through these conditions of this basira. One, the first condition, is that the da'i, the inviter to Islam, he has to have knowledge. This person has to have knowledgeable, and they have to be knowledgeable of what they are inviting to. Because we might invite to something, if we're not knowledgeable about Islam, we might invite to something wrong. We've all heard the hadith, بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً. Convey to the people regarding me, even if it's with one ayah. And that's tremendous. We accept that hadith, but we have to know the ayah. The companions, what did they do? They said when they had an ayah, they took it. It was like gold to them, like platinum maybe, I don't know, whatever's best these days. They took it, and they took the ayah, سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا. They accepted it, they hear and they obey, and they implemented it before they moved on. So when you know that ayah, you're implementing it, call to Allah with just that one ayah. This is what it says, but we have to know the knowledge. We have to know that ayah. We have to have the knowledge. And also it's important, as we've always heard the term, we have to spend time to sharpen our axe. Who here has heard that concept? I know you've heard it. You probably mentioned it. Who else has heard the concept? We have to spend time sharpening. It's an American story that we've heard all the time. I'm sure there's something in Arab countries that is very similar. But there's always a concept that they say, spend time sharpening your axe. Spend time strengthening yourself so you can be better at giving da'wah. The story that's always given is two people who are trying to compete to see how many trees they can cut down at the end of the day. Throughout the whole day, starting in the morning, trying to cut all day long. They're both given an axe. At the end of the day, the older man who looks more tired, like he wouldn't be able to compete, versus this big, strong, buffy guy like me, right? This is where you'll shake your head, you say yes. No, this big, strong guy had this axe, and you would have sworn money was on him. End of the day, he was so beat by this other person. He said, what happened? He said, because every time that you and I sat down for a break, I was sharpening my axe, keeping it sharp. And he cut down so many more trees. It was a slaughter. He got beat. Sharpen your axe. Spend more time. Just don't go run out there. Spend the effort yourself to learn how to give da'wah. The second condition of the basira is that the da'i has to be familiar with the people that he is calling to. You can't go give a speech and not even know who your audience is. You're giving a speech about Islam and you think the audience is all Christian and they're all Buddhists. You would have wasted your time perhaps. Know your audience. Know who you're talking to. There's a tremendous difference on how you address Christians versus how you would address atheists. There's a tremendous difference even within the folds of Christianity of how you address Protestants versus Catholics. So you know your audience. And look at that hadith when Mu'adh was sent to Yemen. He said, إِنَّكَ تَقْدِمُ عَلَى قَوْمٍ مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ. Verily you will come across a people from the people of the book. Allowing Mu'adh to prepare his speech, to beautify his speech, and to think about what these people might try to say in arguing towards him. And the third condition of basira, brothers and sisters, is that we have to deliver this message with kindness. We have to deliver this message with mercy, with humility, and be gentle with the people. Allah says in the Quran, I think those little points aren't supposed to be there. Allah says in the Quran, with regarding Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was conveying to the people and spreading Islam, Allah talked and He said to him, فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ. Had by the mercy of Allah you were lenient with them. وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَضًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَانْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. And if you had been severe and harsh-hearted, they would have fled from you. Our foundation, brothers and sisters, is to be easy with the people. We forget that, and especially da'wah towards Muslims. Inviting the people is not just towards non-Muslims, it's towards Muslims. We're so soft towards the non-Muslims, but towards the Muslims, Aaron, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, right? And we're like so screaming, the Imam can be so tough. And we forget the foundation is kindness. When the Prophet ﷺ, when he sent Mu'adh to Yemen, he said to him, Bashira, this is too small. Bashira wa yassira wa allima wa la tunaffira. He said, give them glad tidings and facilitate ease for them and educate them and do not turn the people off. In another narration, he said to him, Bashira wa la tunaffira وَيَسِّرَا وَلَا تُعَسِّرَا وَتَطَاوَعَا وَلَا تَخْتَلِفَا. And he said, give glad tidings to the people and do not push them away. Do not turn them off. Facilitate ease with the people. Listen to this. Facilitate ease with the people. And do not complicate things for the people. And be agreeable with one another. And do not disagree with one another. So case study. We have a sister who's learning about Islam. She's interested in Islam. But she does not obviously wear hijab. She's uncomfortable with this. What do? Do we tell her, oh sister, this isn't for you? Astaghfirullah. Do we push that? Do we even talk about it? If they don't know about it, I don't talk about it. You know, that's my way of doing it, because this is the way of wisdom. If they're not aware of it, you don't have to talk about it. Invite to Allah. It said, فَإِذَا عَرَفُوا ذَلِكَ. And when they get that, then talk to them about the prayer. But if they don't get that, why are you talking to them about riba and this and that and all these other things? They're important. No doubt they're important. But what did the hadith say? First establish with them the oneness of worship of Allah. And when they get that, then you move on to the salah. That's it. It's that simple. So we don't make the sister uncomfortable. And when they get that, we move on. But we stick with the focus. Another case study. These are obvious, but it's just a point. You have a person who's trying to learn. He's a wine connoisseur. Loves to go to these wine tasting. I have a friend of mine. He loves to do this stuff. He's a Buddhist. An associate of mine. He loves to go to these wine tasting things and talks to me about them. He knows I don't drink wine. But let's just say one day he's interested in Islam and he doesn't know about the ruling of wine in Islam. I'm not going to tell him that. You kidding me? I'm going to talk to him about establishing the oneness of worship of Allah. And when he gets that, am I going to talk to him about wine second? I better hear a no, right? What's it say? Secondly, you talk to him about the prayer. This is not me. This is what the Prophet ﷺ has said. This is our methodology. We keep it simple. The kiss, keep it simple, stupid, as they say. So this is really simple, and this is from the wisdom that Allah has given us, brothers and sisters. Allah says, as far as when inviting to people to Islam, Allah says, "Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmah wal maw'idati al hasana." Invite to the way of your Lord with wisdom. Bil hikmah, with wisdom and with good speech. And we forget this wisdom. We so often invite to people in ways that we should not be doing so. And one of the last things I have to mention, mashallah, I'm at 20 minutes, is to have proper actions. We cannot, even if we do all of these things and we implement all of these things as described, our da'wah will not be complete until we combine that with righteous actions. We have to have the righteous actions. What did the verse say earlier we mentioned? As far as who is the best in speech? وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِّمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا. And who is best in speech than the one who invites to Allah and does righteous actions? How often does Allah say in the Quran, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ? O you who believe and do righteous actions. We always read that in the Quran. We always read that. So your actions, they can be helpful towards you, but they can also be hurtful towards you.